So the Packers just finished their training camp practice for today, and it was a hot one. The Packers even moved up the practice from noon to 11 a.m. just because of the heat. I believe there was a high of 96 today in Green Bay, but the heat index was even higher. So it was a hot day there in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And so I want to go over the biggest updates, biggest takeaways from today's training camp practice. If you guys haven't subscribed and you want to stay up to date with all things Packers, I cover the Packers, news, rumors, analysis, all that kind of stuff. So feel free to subscribe, and I will also be live this afternoon, probably around 5 p.m. Central. If you guys want to stop by, we'll talk about some different Packers topics. But first off, here from Andy Herman, players who he did not see. At first glance, I don't see anyone returning from injury/rest. Players I don't see: Bakhtiari, Wicks, Moore, Pearson, Lewin, Stokes, Nichols, Goodson, Campbell, Tenuta, Melton. There could be others, but I don't see any of yesterday's non-participants taking part so far. And then here, Andy Herman, Lucas Van Ness warming up with the defensive line, not the edge rushers today. Could just be cross-training, or could be a way to maximize talent on the field with the return of Gary and the play of Enagbare. And that's one thing I loved about the Lucas Van Ness pick, was the fact that he had the ability to play on the interior and then outside at the edge as well, just because the Packers could, if they need some more depth in the interior, throw Lucas Van Ness in there. They need him on the outside, throw him outside. So it's cool to see him working with the interior there. Then Andy Herman. Anthony Johnson Jr. did not look right running out onto the practice field today at all. Mentioned it to Paul Brettel, and now he just went back into the Hudson, looked to be limping. Then he comes back. He's back out and practicing. We'll keep an eye on it. And then finally, and now he's back in the Hudson Center trying to fight through something, but you can tell he's struggling. So Anthony Johnson Jr., Packers 7th round safety pick, seemingly dealing with some kind of injury. Not sure how serious it is. But right now, there's still a pretty intense competition going on at safety next to Darnell Savage, with Rudy Ford playing there a lot, Jonathan Owens, Tarvarius Moore, even though Moore has a knee injury and he's missed the past couple days. But still a thing to keep an eye on there, especially with Moore and Anthony Johnson Jr. potentially injured. That could factor into what happens here. Then Andy Herman. Love to read for a touchdown on first play of 7-on-7s. Looked like Nixon fell down. Didn't see the route to see what happened. 60-yard touchdown. Clifford and Dubose not on the same page on a comeback route. So another day of love finding a read for a touchdown. Happened again yesterday. Ryan Wood. Sure looks like Rashawn Gary's knee feels good. Gary just beat Zach Tom with a speed move outside. Just ran past him. Tom ended on the ground. Gary stood where the QB would have been, pounding his chest. So my question with Gary is, how long will it take him to get back to his elite level play? Because anytime a player tears their ACL, sometimes it takes them time to fully get back to full health and full speed. But from that tweet from Ryan Wood, it sounds like Gary is not, missing a beat whatsoever, and he has a few weeks until the Packers' first game against the Bears. So maybe week 1 is a lock now for him, but this is very promising with him coming in yesterday and having his first day in team reps after, being out for a while. Then here, a scary thing here, but luckily seems okay. Andy Herman says Christian Watson down for a few seconds on the field. Didn't see what happened. He gets up, but he's hurting. He's talking to the trainer now. Then he says Watson in first play of teams, so he seems fine. So I saw that tweet before the second tweet, and right away I was thinking to myself, oh no, hopefully this isn't something serious. Clearly to lose Watson would be a big deal for this Packers offense, but luckily he came back pretty quickly after that. So that is a nice sight to see. Then Andy Herman, starters today. Walker, once again left tackle. Bakhtiari not playing, still playing over Josh Nijman, which is interesting. Walker, Jenkins, left guard. Myers, center. Runyon, Jr., right guard. Zach Tom, right tackle. Love at quarterback. Jones at running back. DeGuara and Musgrave at tight end. Then an interesting thing here. Instead of Romeo Doubs on the first team with Watson, it's Malik Heath. And are the Packers, is this a good sign for Heath? I mean, it can't be a bad sign if he's playing with the ones. I don't know if that means anything. Is he at all competing with Doubs? I just would never have imagined that. But interesting to note. We'll keep an eye on that one. But I think Doubs is a beast. But also, Heath has played really, really well in the preseason. So that's interesting to note that he was with the starters. Then on the defense, Clark, Slayton, Wyatt on the inside, interior D-line. Preston Smith, Quay Walker, Rashawn Gary, the linebackers. And then we have Jair, Nixon, Douglas, corner. And then Ford once again gets a start next to Savage. So Jonathan Owens has not been there for a little while now, at least starting. Tarvarius Moore still injured. I mentioned the Anthony Johnson Jr. going off the field. So still a competition there. Then Andy Herman. Jaden Reed off to another great start today. It's hard to tell who to be more excited for, Musgrave or Reed. Both look beyond legit in camp, which is, the fact that we already have Watson and Dobbs in year 2 and the fact that Musgrave and Reed are looking really good is very promising for this young Packers offense. Andy Herman says, nice block by Tucker Kraft on Lucas Van Ness on an inside run. Van Ness follows it up with a really nice pressure off of left side. Sounds like it might have been against Musgrave. Forces a high throw from Love to Toure, incomplete. And Enigbare continues to show up big with an immediate and explosive tackle for loss in the background. So Enigbare continuing to make plays after dominating on Saturday against the Patriots. Schneidman, Devontae Wyatt just left practice with a Packers staff member. Not sure what that's about. Hopefully he's okay. I don't know if it had to do with the heat or an injury. We'll keep an eye on that. Andy Herman, DeGuara with a great block to spring Dillon on a toss left. And now with a fantastic block and pass pro. He was really great blocking yesterday too. Ballantyne with a pass breakup on a jump ball to Dobbs from Love. So DeGuara, still in that tight end room with Tyler Davis gone. It's Musgrave, Tucker Kraft, and DeGuara, the main guys there. And so DeGuara, now a few years of experience, seems to be at least blocking nicely so far in camp. Then Wes Hodquist, interesting route concept down seam, and Kraft comes free for a dart in the seam. So nice play by Tucker Kraft, who I think has been somewhat quiet this training camp. There hasn't been too much buzz about him when you compare it to Luke Musgrave, but seemingly a nice play there by him. Andy Herman, Jadakius Bonds, schools Hooper, and Clifford hits him for a big gain. On the opposite field, Love tries the same thing to Dobbs, but Rasul all over it. Physical coverage, no separation. Love out route to Watson complete. He loves that route and throw. Love with a wow throw over the middle to Kraft. Another play by Kraft. That looked like a no-look pass over the middle that held the linebackers. That was my favorite Love play of camp. Legit mouth drop. So you love seeing that from Jordan Love, who I think has done a really good job as I watch different scouting videos on Love of, really using his eyes to hold safeties and linebackers when he tries to, hit his guy and keep those guys open, which is great for him. Ryan Wood, Tucker Kraft with his best play of camp, ran an open post down the right seam behind cornerback Corey Ballantyne. Jordan Love hit him for 30 yards. Kraft can move for a big guy too. Then Andy Herman, with Devontae Wyatt out, it's Colby Wooden in his place in team drills, and it's an injury day today. Savage and Dobbs awkwardly tangle up. Dobbs looks okay, but Savage is very gingerly going to the sideline. So lots of injuries at safety today. With Savage and Anthony Johnson Jr. Not sure if they're serious. And as I said, we'll keep an eye on that because that's sort of a big deal here considering there's already uncertainty at the safety position. Andy Herman, fantastic throw from Love to Watson on a deep crosser, big pickup. Van Ness beats Musgrave for a run stop, followed by Van Ness closing the back door for another stop on a Jones cutback. McDuffie all over a DeGuara screen. Love threw a beautiful back of the end zone touchdown to Musgrave, but Luke didn't tap his feet and lost track of where he was. That should have been 7. Rookie mistake from 88 as he came down out of bounds. Rudy Ford in coverage. Then here, Clifford from Andy Herman. Clifford nearly picked by Keandre Thomas. A few plays later, he finds DeGuara for a nice pickup. 2 back-to-back nice practices for Josiah. Ryan Wood, Sean Clifford showing his gamer trait today. Hit Josiah DeGuara over the shoulder for 13 yards on 4th and 2. Followed with a slant to Deuce Watts to convert 3rd and 5. The rookie QB knows how to move in offense. So I'm not that worried with Clifford being the backup to Jordan Love because we at least know that he can move the ball down the field, that the Packers ever needed him. He has the ability to put up points and to really get yards on offense, which just because of his fearlessness, he doesn't really seem to be too nervous back there as a young quarterback. Andy Herman, ball in the opposing 20, 17 seconds left, no timeouts. 0-0. Love in the first team up first, and Love fires a touchdown in the back of the end zone to Musgrave. Another massive wow throw. Great play by 88, who slid, caught it, and stayed in bounds. Woo. So Love has, according to Andy Herman, had a lot of wow throws today, which is great. Then Ryan Wood. I believe this is about the same play, but a little more information. Luke Musgrave brought in that Jordan Love pass in back of end zone. Rookie tight end beat Jonathan Owens on a seam route, who I think has not been great in the preseason. And Jordan Love, who has been money a second straight day. Didn't miss for a 20-yard touchdown. Beautiful. Wes Hodquist, Douglas picks off Love to end a number 1 2-minute time for Clifford. So Love ends with an interception. That's not great, but it happens, And then finally, Wes Hodquist, Mr. 2-time strikes again. Clifford to Dubose in the seam for a 21-yard touchdown on 4th and 7. So those are all the updates for today. If you guys want to stay up to date with all things Packers, feel free to subscribe to the channel down below. Follow me on Twitter for more Packers stuff, Luke_Beller. Also have a newsletter, which is linked in the description. But that's it for today, and I will see you guys next time.